Clear, accurate, to the point. This is 41 NBC News at 10 on My 41.2.
Good evening, I'm Tracy Armbruster. Today marks a sad and somber day for Monroe County. Michael Norris, the first sheriff's deputy to ever die in the line of duty, was laid to rest today. Monroe deputies carried the casket of one of their own inside the Georgia Public Safety Training Facility for the funeral. Thousands of law enforcement officials from across the state and members of the community packed the room to pay their final respects. Norris's longtime pastor, Elder Matt Yawn, led the service. He called it one of the hardest funerals he has ever had to perform. He told the crowd this wasn't supposed to happen. Norris recently married his wife Logan 5 months ago, and he loved his job. He said, living in a broken, dark world, Norris was a gift of grace. Yawn added, this is a difficult time, but he urged everyone to remember Norris is in a better place.
He is in the fullness of joy. We here are the ones who are brokenhearted. Michael is enjoying eternal bliss in heaven. He's in the presence of Jesus.
Other speakers included Harris Blackwood with the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. He spoke to the family on behalf of Governor Nathan Deal, calling this a tragic loss. Deputy William Jackson remembered Norris as a man who loved his family and was a blessing to be around.
He was a man of dedication, honesty, integrity, and respect. And the Monroe County Sheriff's Office in the community are definitely, we're glad to have been a part of his life. We're glad of what he gave to us.
After the funeral, family, friends, and loved ones met at the Culloden City Cemetery, while Deputy Norris was laid to rest. Thousands of residents filled the streets of Forsyth to say goodbye to Deputy Norris. Many people dressed in blue shirts and waved American flags. The funeral procession went through the center of town. Residents say it's important to remember those who protect and serve every single day.
Michael deserved no less than this. He was a really good guy, and for everybody to pull together and show their respect and their love for his family, it's awesome.
I have 2 little girls, and we want to impress on them what it means to honor those that protect us.
In addition to the blue t-shirts, supporters were handing out blue ribbons to people that came out to watch the funeral procession. Now, in case you haven't been following this story, we want to catch you up on the details leading up to now. It began Saturday night in Bolingbrook. 41 NBC's Sean Franklin has more on how this tragedy unfolded.
Haley Lane may never be the same.
The call came in that was a man that was going to was threatening to commit suicide, and when they got there, they found out he was armed.
Saturday evening, 2 Monroe County deputies, Michael Norris and Jeff Wilson, drove over hoping to help.
That's the reason there were 2 deputies there. It was the responder to the call and a backup.
It was a suicide call. As they arrived, they didn't know too much about the situation.
I mean, obviously, in this incident, they knew the guy was armed, and they went in, they thought, prepared for that.
Preparation the former Boy Scout Norris was accustomed to, but no amount of preparation changed what happened next. A gunfight erupted. The man they had hoped to help now faced them on enemy lines. Norris and Wilson both took gunshots to their bodies. Wilson survived. Norris wasn't so lucky. The 24-year-old was pronounced brain dead on Sunday. His organs will serve someone else, much as he served his community.
He wanted to come to work for us at the sheriff's office, and went through the testing process and came out #1 and was making a really good deputy.
Wilson was released from the hospital, walking with the help of a walker. The man on enemy lines, 46-year-old Christopher Calmer. He's charged with the murder of Norris, the attempted murder of Wilson, 2 counts of possession of a firearm during a felony, and 5 counts of aggravated assault, 1 for each gunshot he fired. Details as to exactly what happened will be sorted out by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. That's normally what happens in cases when local deputies are forced to use their guns. Until then, the community mourns the loss of one of their own. In Forsyth, Sean Franklin, 41 NBC News.
United Bank has set up a fund for Norris's wife. For more information, check out 41NBC.com. A second nation launches airstrikes against the so-called Islamic State. More on how France is stepping up in the fight against ISIS. But first, the wait is over. The highly anticipated iPhone 6 was released today. Those stories and more are coming up on the News at 10.
41 NBC News at 10 on My 41.2.
Middle Georgians now have cheaper and more convenient ways of getting health care. Walmart is now providing medical services at its Harrison Road store in Macon. Care clinics are staffed with medical professionals who will offer primary care to patients. Services include immunization shots and health screenings, as well as pregnancy and HIV testings. Appointments are not necessary, and the Walmart Care Clinic accepts walk-ins. The Harrison Road Walmart's Care Clinic is one of 12 stores in Georgia, South Carolina, and Texas participating in the pilot program. The Walmart Care Clinic is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and on Sundays from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. The office visits are $40 per person, and Walmart employees pay just $4 for a visit. In more consumer news, after much anticipation, the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus went on sale in stores today. Customers were out bright and early this morning waiting to get the new iPhones at Verizon Wireless here in Macon. District Manager Brian Taylor tells us he beefed up his staffing to manage the crowd and to make the shopping experience better for their customers. Now, on the first day of pre-ordering, Apple received a record 4 million orders, causing shipping delays for some customers of 3 to 4 weeks. Analysts predict Apple could sell 100 million iPhones by the end of this year. As Apple begins sales of its latest iPhone, Samsung starts taking orders for its new Galaxy Note 4 smartphone today. The phone will be released on October 17th. It has a slightly larger screen than the iPhone 6 Plus. The Note runs Google's Android system, and it sells for $826 or $299 with a 2-year contract. Toyota is recalling 20,000 vehicles for a possible fuel leak. It includes the 2015 Lexus RX and the 2014 Toyota Camry, Highlander, Avalon, and Sienna. Toyota says drivers should contact a Toyota dealer for repairs. Turning now to a story making headlines around the world. The Pentagon warned today it could take at least a year to get a ground war going against ISIS in its home base of Syria. But today, France became the first coalition nation besides the U.S. to launch airstrikes on ISIS. NBC's Steve Handelsman has more on the fight against the so-called Islamic State. U.S. airstrikes in Syria, already approved by President Obama, could come at any time. But the White House emphasized this could be a lengthy war. All right, Chris, let's talk weather in Middle Georgia.
And why would you want to do that?
I have a list of fun events going on over the next couple of days. Let's get right to it.
Let's talk about some cars. Rolls-Royce, vintage cars, and former police cruisers are all among the more than 50 automobiles and motorcycles being auctioned off.
Senior citizens and students get in for $15.
Cool. That's it. I think we're done.
We are done, but we're not done with the show, though. So don't forget about the new movies coming out in theaters. We'll have a box office preview, and Chris will have another look at tonight's forecast. He's sticking around, I'm sticking around, so should you. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Now, there are a lot of new movies this weekend at the theaters.
Here's NBC's Raphael Seth with a box office preview.
Also out this week is the human walrus horror film, Tusk. Now, a couple of those look pretty good.
They do. You know, it looks pretty good. The weather should be pretty nice for us this weekend. We'll see. That's all I got.
That's all you have. It's Friday. You are done.
Football is coming up here soon, so a lot of good football games. Good football games this weekend. So, hey, who you got in the Clemson-Florida State game?
Of course you'd ask me a sports question.
Why not? Hurry up, you got 15 seconds.
Florida State.
Oh no, why?
Just
She doesn't
because,
know why.
just because I figured you'd go with Clemson.
Huh?
You'd go for the other one.
No, I don't think so. I wish. But anyway,
Okay.
we're out of here.
Good night,
See you
everyone.
Monday.